Ramos Law serves people. We make the world a better place. We put people ahead of anything else. It's my name on this business. It's my face on the billboards. And what you don't see through any of that stuff is you don't see my heart. We've built this family, this Ramos Law family, in a way that will include you. And hopefully by the end of our representation, you also feel part of the Ramos Law family. I look forward to taking care of you.
Good morning, my friends. It is Tuesday. This is Peaks to Plains weather. I am Matt Meister. Thanks for joining me here on this Tuesday morning. We are going to jump right into it because we've got to get on the road and get the boy off to college. Yesterday was a quieter day, as we knew would be the case. This is what it looked like late in the afternoon from Woodman Heights. We did get one thunderstorm to move over the south side of Colorado Springs out across El Paso County. You can see that there on the left-hand side of the screen. Here's what it looks like this morning on a beautiful start to the day. Looking at America's Mountain, it is 60 degrees there. Kissing Camels, touch warmer at 61. And we are running in the 70s in a couple of spots for Springfield. Walsenburg, 72. That's leading the way this morning. And we've got some 40s in the mountains and valleys. Notice Salida has dropped into the 40s, usually one of the warmer spots. But that's a sign of some of the cooler air, the drier air that we've got over the mountains. 61 in Pueblo this morning, along the interstate. Lots of folks sitting here in the 60s this morning. 63 in First View, where there is a lot of sunshine. Walsenburg, again, the warm spot there, a little bit of a breeze out of the west. You can see bouncing the camera around a little bit, 15 miles per hour. No issues traveling up to Denver this morning, but in Castle Rock, you don't see blazing sunshine. There is a little area of clouds between Colorado Springs and Pueblo, and Susan's checking in. She says, hey, I've got those in Palmer Lake this morning. It's nice and cool. I've got some of those clouds, and Castle Rock is dealing with those as well. And we'll end with this shot. Beautiful look here up across the Gore Range from Vail this morning. A couple birds flying around there, and really a nice start to the day. So we do have some transition that happens quick here for the middle part of the week. And I'm going to jump into our short-term forecast with that this morning. Because after our high temperatures yesterday that were in the 90s for a lot of areas up and down the Front Range, even the Mountain Valley areas started flirting with 90. You see that in Salida. Today is going to be a hotter day. I think we get some 90s on the valley floors, 100 for Canyon City eastward along the river, Colorado Springs. We are into the 90s today. Not as hot up across northeastern Colorado. A cold front comes into the area and drops the temperatures for tomorrow. So these are those quick changes I'm talking about here as we head into the middle of the week. The cold front's up to the north. That'll move in this evening. You'll know when it gets to your house. Wind will pick up out of the northeast. And we're starting to see the high kind of reestablish itself here. It's sort of on the Utah and Colorado border. Early this morning, you can see some of those clouds that are rotating through the area here. We'll keep those kind of heading off to the southeast through the morning. Now, here's the deal today. Still not a lot of water around. And we're going to have to wait until the cold front gets here. But the increase in mid-level moisture is going to develop a little bit of virga out there this afternoon, both over the mountains and across the Palmer Divide in the Pikes Peak region. Don't expect much more than a sprinkle with this, but it'll cool you down a little bit. Maybe get some gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. It's free air conditioning. However, watch what happens across northeastern Colorado and then in the Pikes Peak region and the Palmer Divide as we head into the late evening. We do get a chance of some storms. That's as the cold front's coming in. So we might see one or two last into the early morning hours of Wednesday. Don't expect any severe weather with that, but those storms will bring some rain. And the reason for it is that when the cold front gets here, look at the low-level moisture increase. And when you get a surge from the 30s into the 50s, that usually brings a chance of a storm, so that's why I picked that version of Skycast to show you, because I think it's on the right track. We wake up tomorrow morning, there's more low-level moisture around, might have a couple spots of some low clouds out east, and then up against the western edge of that low-level moisture tomorrow is where storms will get stronger. And I say storms because note that the dew points over the mountains come up as well. And so we might see one or two storms in the mountains on Wednesday, but when they hit the low-level moisture or storms developing on the western edge of the low-level moisture, those storms will be strong. So they'll put down some heavy rain again. We've seen that over the weekend. They could also bring some hail between maybe about a ½ inch and 1¼ inches in diameter. 1 inch would prompt a severe thunderstorm warning tomorrow. And some of these storms are also going to produce some real strong wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. So as we hit the afternoon, here come a couple of storms over the mountains. More bark than bite over the high country. Not everything you see there is going to put down rain. There will be some virga in there as well. But in the early afternoon, storms are developing over the Palmer Divide, the Rampart Range, slopes of Pikes Peak, and then down across the Front Range, the Sangre de Cristos to the west of I-25. And when storms develop, they start to move to the southeast tomorrow. And so the cities will be in line for some storms because a storm off of Pikes Peak could roll across Pueblo, off the Rampart Range could roll across Colorado Springs, and then we'll get them rolling out across the plains here late afternoon into the early evening. And you see this cluster of storms that SkyCast is picking up on here around Trinidad. Not only some heavy rain there, but if we get a cluster like that somewhere, that's where we'll be real likely to get some wind gusts 260. And if that cluster happens, maybe even over 60 miles per hour. Do you think the storms get out of here pretty quick Wednesday evening? Anything that kind of trails back behind it would be a little bit, different. Doesn't have the moisture to use. The atmosphere's turned over, so it wouldn't be as strong. And like I said, I think things are coming to an end pretty quickly in the evening. But look at that. Temperatures bump right back up for Thursday. Fewer storms around, and for a lot of us, I think Thursday actually ends up being kind of a mainly dry day across the area. Kathleen is enjoying the beautiful, breezy, cool morning. Nancy says, thanks for keeping me up on the weather on the trip to Iowa. Yeah, I've got, got Starlink. We're all ready to go. And Nancy says she has a college freshman now at school. I hope you're doing okay with that. Julia's checking in from La Junta this morning. And Kay is in Fountain. She says good morning. And we've got Clinton here who's checking in as well. Clinton's usually checking in from Chaffee County. So Clinton, thanks for being here with us on this Tuesday morning. I am going to take a real quick short break here. Then we're going to talk extended forecast. Don't go anywhere. You're on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&D Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Hey Peaks to Plains viewers, this is John over here at Petrali Roofing. It's hail season here in Colorado, and you might think that your roof doesn't have hail damage, but think again. Hail damage is hard to spot from the ground. That's why Petrali Roofing does free 21-point inspections. Give us a call today. We'll come out and take a look. And if we do find hail damage and your roof qualifies for a re-roof, you'll get $250 off if you choose us to do that installation. So give us a call today, 719-375-8773. Have us come out and take a look today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Employee pricing is over, but at Phil Long Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Phil Long's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days. And I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it. Only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
All righty, my friends, we jump into the extended forecast here, and we've got low-level moisture coming in on Wednesday behind the cold front that comes in Tuesday night, drives some severe weather chances here for the middle part of the week, mainly from the foothills eastward. These storms could put down some heavy rain, some large hail, and some wind gusts that could be over 60 miles per hour. That's something that we'll certainly watch for here. Then behind that, it doesn't last all that long. Temperatures warm back up, and in the extended forecast, we start watching for the monsoon to set back up. And I think as we head into the weekend, That'll end up playing a role over some of our mountain areas here. So Wednesday storms kind of driven by the cold front, highs setting up back here, clockwise flow around it. Watch what happens for the end of the week as we start to see some storms down over Arizona, down over New Mexico, and we start to see with time here into Friday, the monsoon setting back up. So especially by the back part of the weekend here, storm coverage gets a little bit better over the mountain areas. When we're looking at this large scale, this hemispheric, these global models, you know, the precipitation looks like it's just raining everywhere, and obviously that's not the case. But the high is kind of sitting here along the Colorado and New Mexico line, and on the west side of it, we get the monsoon tap. It's not as thick, at least that's how it looks right now, is what we had last week. But we'll also recycle some of that moisture underneath it every day. So the point being, over the mountains here, into late next week, into the following week here, we'll start to get some storms in the forecast. And so I think once we hit tomorrow for Woodland Park and some other areas, I think we'll have storms back around each and every day. And you can see the chance of storms kind of getting a little bit more significant here as you start to see some green show up on the map there. But that high is going to be pretty persistent, and so our chance of storms over the mountains is going to be pretty persistent as well. Not that we're going to get them every day, but they will be out there. And here's hoping, you know, you get water. We've got the drought monitor coming out on Thursday. That'll show us a little bit of improvement that we've had in a couple spots with the monsoon last week, especially over the far eastern plains, where we had some decent rain, and the Palmer Divide did really well as well. Colorado Springs, we'll get a chance of some storms tomorrow. Could be strong, so keep it with Peaks to Plains weather. Then we get a little bit drier. Maybe a gusty type storm Saturday, but storm chances getting better here early next week. We'll get a little bit hotter behind the cold front tomorrow. You'll notice that cool down. It'll be 10 to 12 degrees over the plains. Getting to 100 in a couple of spots here heading into the weekend. And then we head into next week. We might get a couple days east of the mountains where we get a chance of some storms, depending on how thick the monsoon is. And we'll have to keep an eye on that. And we still need good water over the mountains here. So we will hope that the monsoon is a really, really good one as we head into next week. Bo checking in from Hasty this morning out across the far eastern plains. Those uniforms, I think, look like Thunder uniforms from Lamar. Not sure. Well, hey, got a kid playing football, regardless of if it's at Lamar, somewhere else. Good luck to all the kids here. I know a lot of activities getting underway this week. That's it for me on Peaks to Plains weather today, my friends. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for joining me. Again, watch for a storm tonight over the eastern plains as the front comes in, and a severe weather day on the way tomorrow. For checking in with Peaks to Plains weather, our weather together. Have a good day.
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.